Hello and welcome to Infinite Transcendence. Today I want to talk about it's a humorous subject in a way, but it's a real subject, and it's called Shut Your Stupid Mouth. This one is extremely irritating to me in life, and I know we've all dealt with this. People who don't know what they're talking about, who pretend to know what they're talking about, who act like they know what they're talking about and have no clue what they're talking about. And worse than that, they ram their opinion down your throat. So it's not only like, it's one thing to not know something and just be honest about it and say I don't know, or just to not say anything, because look, there's all things we don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. You ask me how to fix a transmission on a vehicle, I wouldn't know how to do it. I've never done it before. I fixed a lot of things, but I haven't fixed a transmission. I would just say I don't know, or I'm not sure. But it's always people who have no clue what they're talking about, who are completely ignorant, completely dumb, who just take their opinion and just shove it down your throat, just ram it down your throat, give you bad advice, give you dumb advice, give you worthless advice, and keep insisting that you listen to them. And then they can't understand why people get frustrated with them. And it's so annoying, I'm sure, to you and to everybody else, except for the ones who probably do it and want us to listen to their garbage. Because in an age where the internet is available and you can look stuff up instantly and be well informed with little effort, there's no reason to be this stupid. I'm just tired of it. And it's this baffling thing of why people constantly force their opinions on others, even when they don't know what they're talking about. And I have a few theories why that might be, or a few reasons. I think for a few reasons for that is, one reason is they have their own group of people. They're the big fish in a little pond. Where they're at, they're the smartest person there, or they're able to trick everybody or make everybody believe they're really smart when they're not. So they can kind of boss others around and kind of force their opinion on others. But then they do it to people who are smarter than them. So they get out. They're smarter than they are. So they get out of their main group and they meet somebody, say like you're more knowledgeable than somebody else, and say you have a cousin or something, or a family member who pretends to know something. They're used to being around their own family members or their own friends or whoever, and then they meet you, and now they take their opinion and ram it down your throat, and you're thinking to yourself, you have no idea what you're talking about. But what's the phenomenon that causes? I say that's one reason is because where they're at, they're the big fish. They're the king of the blind. They're the big one-eyed person leading the blind. And a lot of times I think they want to feel important. I think in a lot of cases I've had friends and family members like this who constantly just ram their opinion down my throat. Like, I know a lot of topics. I know way more than they do. I've done lots of study, lots of experience in it. I do it all the time to people who've never done something before somehow tell me how to do it. I'm thinking to myself, how can you tell me how to do something you've never done before and don't know how to do? I think a lot of times they just want to feel useful. They want to feel important. They're thinking, I told you how to do this. I can contribute something. I want to feel like I'm making a difference. When you succeed, I want to be able to say, hey, that guy, I helped that guy. I gave that guy some advice that one time. I think there's a lot of that in there. They want to feel, it makes them feel good about themselves. They go around giving advice and to tell others how to do things they don't even do themselves. And a lot of times it just helps inflate their own ego. And what's also annoying about it, I think in a lot of cases, the worst reason is I think they just believe their own hype. The Dunning-Kruger effect. They believe they know more than they do. They believe they score higher than they do in levels of competence, and they believe they're still incompetent. They don't know how incompetent they are. And the people who are competent tend to downplay their competence because they think, since it's easy for me, it must be easy for everybody else. I'm sure you've seen people say, well, I'm not that rich. I make $1 million a year. That guy makes $10 million a year. I can't be that rich. Or I'm good, but I'm not that great. Even though a person can be in the 1% of something and say, well, I'm good. I know I'm good, but I'm not that great. But it's always people who don't know what they're doing, who pretend to know. And they don't know enough to know they don't know something. Which means it's kind of odd, because if I don't know something, I just say I don't know. But a lot of people, I guess, they don't realize how little they know, and they tend to rate, from the research and studies I've seen, they tend to rate themselves way higher in a percentage level. So if a percentile level, so a person's like at a 12% percentile, they'll rate themselves at the 60th percentile, and this is very frequent all the way up into further. If you look at from the top 3/4 percentiles, yes, people rate themselves about the same. Although people who are more competent are close to that percentile, people who are least competent. And even when you confront them and tell them that their scores are low, they tend to think they're still higher than most because they figure everybody else must have scored lower than they did. So I think a lot of cases people just believe their own hype. I think it's something more toxic than that. I think what it's really about is a mindset. I think it's this mindset where people who don't want to grow, don't want to get out of their comfort zone, don't want to try different things or admit they can fail or do things wrong. They live in this bubble world where they believe they're Superman, where they believe they're invincible, where they just know it all, and they just think they're beyond further improvement. Like, they're perfect the way they are. And that leads to that toxic thinking where they just know more than they do. Instead of actually taking the time and effort to learn things and get out of their comfort zone and experience new things, they live in this closed-off, ignorant world where they feel they're the best. And I think that's especially nowadays where people, society tells us you're perfect the way you are. You can't be wrong. You can't fail. Failure's bad. You're always, everybody's smart. Everybody's equal. And people start to think, well, maybe I'm equal. We start to have a generation of spoiled, idiotic brats who vastly overestimate their own skill and competence. So I think I think that's ultimately what it's about. I think it's a mindset. I think people who are smart and accomplished or who do new things are constantly getting out of their comfort zone. They're constantly taking new challenges. They're constantly putting themselves in an element where they don't know something. So the first impulse I have, if I don't know something, is I go look it up. That's my first instinct. I don't know this. How am I going to do it? I'm going to go look it up. People are incompetent just figure, hey, I know it, or I think I know enough about it, and they just settle with that. And it's always funny. It's the people who are the losers who tell you how to try to succeed at something. It's people who are broke who try to tell you how to manage money. I have people who don't have any money try to tell me how to run my business, who have no experience in my business. I see people who are out of shape and overweight try to tell me how to exercise and stay in shape. I have people who have no idea how to draw tell me how to draw and how to design something. Everybody knows everything. People who try to give me dietary advice have no idea what they're talking about. They're trying to tell me that coconut has cholesterol in it and it's going to raise your cholesterol levels. Coconut doesn't have cholesterol in it. Well, I mean, why not look it up? I don't know. But I think their advice for this is to avoid these people and just run. Ignore them. And if you get into a situation you have to listen to them, just tell them the truth. Say, I'd rather take my opinion from an expert. Like for me, I need to take something to a mechanic or a technician. I go to them to get their opinion and their advice because they're knowledgeable. I don't want it from a person who doesn't know what they're talking about, because if something goes wrong and I take their bad advice, guess what? Are they going to be held liable for it? Nope. They're going to say, well, you didn't have to take my advice. I've done that before where I listened to someone and I listened to some bad business advice and it hurt me. And the first thing they say was, hey, you didn't have to listen to me. You're damn right I didn't. So I'm not going to listen to you anymore and keep your stupid advice to yourself. Or another thing you do is take a sarcastic approach and say, well, hey, we can't all be smart like you are. Kind of say it like an underhanded way, and that'll usually shut them up, make them feel, hey, maybe I'm forcing my opinion on others. So, or you could just pinpoint something back at them. I mean, sometimes people say, well, why aren't you this? Somebody tries to shove their advice. Well, why aren't you married? Why aren't you in church? Well, ask them, if they're overweight. Tell them, hey, why are you fat? Tell them that being fat is unhealthy. Do whatever you have to do. Shut them up. Throw it back in their face. When they get annoyed, say, hey, will you force your opinion on me? I'm going to force it back on you. You can fight fire with fire if you're bold enough. If not, you can take the other two approaches. But, yeah, hey, let me know what you think. And all you morons who do this, go look up your facts and just shut up. Shut your stupid mouth. Shut up and go educate yourself. And let me know what you think about. Let me know what you think about this subject. Do you do this? Do you know other people who do this? Does it annoy you? Let me know your opinions. Definitely comment here. Comment the video. Like, subscribe. Listen to listen to videos, podcasts. Those are all available. Subscribe for more new and interesting information and transcend infinitely.